Okay, so one of the things I really love about the approach that you set up in Arts Alive is that the emphasis is on feeling what it's like to be creative, to move, to play, as opposed to perfectionism. You talked about that earlier, how that's hard even for kids, and
Right.
I think maybe harder for kids now than it was when we were kids.
Right. Yes, absolutely.
How do you help people in your classes of whatever age to focus on play as opposed to performance, as opposed to perfection?
Some children, and the majority of the children that we work with are ages 2, 3, 4, 5, right around there. So early childhood. But I do, for the most part, I have some schools where I'm teaching children all the way up to 10, 11, 12-year-olds.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's a big gap, and then I do teach the seniors like we were talking about. But in the past, I've taught college students, I've taught high school students.
Mm-hmm.
Just right now, I'm focusing on early childhood. And I've learned that there are certain children that will come into our class, and they don't even know what we're talking at preschool level. They're so thrown that there's not a right way to do something already at age. And it saddens me that they're already thinking, okay, tell me how exactly to do this. And I think that we need many more opportunities in our lives in this country to do things however we want to do, to think out of the box, to play, to not have a certain way that it needs to be done. Of course, I mean, a math problem, it's this 2 + 2 = 4. Yes, we get that. But there needs to be so many more opportunities where we can use the other side of our brain. And when we're working with children, we always say the third time's the charm on both sides of the coin. There's the the child that comes in that is afraid to be in there for whatever reason. They have separation anxiety, or they're in a room that they've never been in before. Whatever. It's something that's new to them, and they come into the class and they're sitting over on the side and just kind of watching, and we don't make them do anything. It's like, fine, come. We invite them throughout the class, and maybe they don't come. Maybe they come at the end. The bubbles are always magical, and they love those. The second time they come in, they're like, I've seen this before. I get it. I'll play a little bit, and we encourage them and invite them to play. And the third time, we always say, is a charm, because they're like, oh yeah, I've been doing this for a long time. I can teach the class. We have those other children on the other side of the coin that they come in and they're like, okay, aren't you going to tell me how to be a dinosaur? How do I need to move? We give them guidelines, like if we're being a stegosaurus, and we are, I have a this works so nicely. So here's our new brochure, Arts Live brochure, and we have, can you see that?
Yeah.
The little boy imagining being a stegosaurus. And, we are encouraging them to be a stegosaurus like that, but we're not saying this is the only way. I had a teacher once that was in my classroom that wasn't an Arts Live teacher. They were a classroom teacher, and we were being elephants. And one little girl was flying all over the place, and the teacher's like, no, elephants don't fly. What are you being? And elephants don't fly. And I'm like, well, Dumbo does, so let her fly. It was just such a weird thing that we have classroom teachers all the time that might be just walking through our classroom or coming in, and they're saying, no, that's not the way to do it. And it's like, maybe that's not how you do it, but they're doing it however they want to do it. So getting back to, we have those kids that are like, please tell me what to do. And after the third time, they're like, okay, I don't need to be told. I get it. I'm going to catch the bubbles how I want to, and I'm going to, become an elephant and fly if I want to.
Mm-hmm. How do you do that for older people, Tina? Is it the same?
I would say yes, it is the same. You have 3 different types. I mean, of course, many different types of personalities, 3 different types. You have the more shy that are, kind of sitting back for this. It's, I'm not going to unfold my arms and, show me what to do. And the adults might be in a teacher workshop. We do a lot of teacher workshops, big, 300 people sometimes. The adult might be at in an Alzheimer's group where not everybody has Alzheimer's. The people that are the caregivers, there are volunteers, everybody. There are families. Sometimes at libraries we would do something where it's for the kids, but it's really families involved, birthday parties. So there are adults around all the time. So we have the shyer ones. We have the ones who are I'm not going to put, I'm not going to do this. It's not my alley. No. And I would say that one of the magical things that we do at Arts Alive is props. We give props. And what a prop does to somebody is all of a sudden, it's not them, that's doing it. It's that, they are, I have a little fan. I use this. This is actually not an Arts Live prop, but something I use daily when I get too hot. But it's, a prop. Give them a scarf. And it's not they're moving their arm, but they're not thinking of moving their arm. It's the scarf. Or a streamer. Or a maraca. I don't happen to have any musical instruments in here, but I can make one out of my mouse. And so, they're shaking the maraca, they're hitting the tambourine, and all of a sudden they're caught up in it. A really good one is, excuse me for a moment while I get another prop. One that I thought that's amazing that I just happened upon one day was sunglasses. We have all different fun shapes of sunglasses, hearts, stars, ones that look like little aliens, Blues Brothers ones. And I learned a long, long time ago when I lived in Austin, I was teaching at a company called Vance Associates, and it was process-oriented like Arts Alive is, but we did have, at the end of the year, production. But it still was very much based on process-oriented. What happens in the class is the most important thing. But here, we're going to show you what we've been doing for a little while. It was back when the California Raisins were popular, heard it through the grapevine, and that was the song we were doing. And my kids, preschool age, knew their dance, and it was like, well, the recital wasn't for another month, and they seemed to be getting a little bored. And I knew that at the recital we were going to use sunglasses. So I brought them early, and I could not believe these little kids that, they're doing their steps and everything. All of a sudden, they were like movie stars. They were like dancing like they'd never danced before. And it was like, light bulb went off. Okay, next time I want to jazz somebody up and, get them going, I'm going to give them sunglasses. So we use our sunglasses at Arts Alive a lot for like cool cats in our Crazy Cats lesson plan, or, Fiesta Fun, we're out in the sun, or Lovely Lou Hour. So many different times that we're using our sunglasses, and boy, when I do a teacher workshop and I give them sunglasses to begin with, it is night and day from, it's just amazing. All of a sudden, it's like they're not them anymore.
Yeah, they have a role.
So when I come and do a teacher workshop and I have, 100 teachers there, and of course, there are the ones that are being made to be there. Okay, I'm going to sit here and whatever, that kind of thing. Right away, I put a song on that they know, Shake Your Groove thing, very popular, We Are Family. Yeah, get everybody dancing on that one, Celebration from Kool and the Gang. And give them a tambourine, give them a streamer, give them a scarf. And I'm not saying, hey, do anything with it yet. I just have the music on and I'm telling them to come get the props. You have those ones that they're decorating themselves, they're putting the sunglasses on, and they start moving. And if you talk a little bit about, you have that, you're shaking your groove thing, and oh, look, so-and-so shaking their groove thing, pretty soon it just becomes contagious. And of course there are, a few back there that are still like, okay, I'm just going to say, I can't do it. I have back problems, or my knees hurt, or I don't feel good, or whatever. And it's like, you know what? I have back problems too. I have, bad knees. I sometimes don't feel good. But doing it makes me feel so much better and makes me forget about all that stuff. So I would say the answer to your question is yes. Props help the adults play.
Awesome.
I thought of something fun.
Yes.
Earlier you were talking about how adults can put play into their lives. And well, I was talking about it, but it was the question that you started. And it made me think of something that I always share with people when they come into my office. This is my home office, by the way, that we are in. And I have a little board. Can you see my little board back there a little bit?
It's really tiny.
Yeah. Well, I will bring it up in just a minute. But what it is a dartboard. And on the left side, it says projects to complete. And on the right side, it says projects which are completed. And so I throw my dart. Woo! Missed it. Don't have to do anything today. There we go. And so I'll bring it up so you can see. And this is my solution to being a procrastinator, which I am, and my solution to making projects and things I have to do more fun. So all these little Post-its say projects I need to do. So outdoor kitchen is going to be up next. All these on this side are things that I've done. So it says things like Shelley's hall closet, dining room, bowl, dining room buffet, my office desk drawer, so that when I need to get these things done, it's much more fun to throw a dart at it and go, well, this is the one that's up next, so this is the one I have to do. So it's kind of like Mary Poppins. In every job there must be done, there is an element of fun. You find the fun and snap. The job's a game. Fun, 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 fun.
And you get to see the accumulation of the fruits of your labors on the other side too, which is surely you get something when you put it on the other side. When it moves to the other side, what happens?
It says it's prize time.
I see that.
And nobody's given me any prizes yet, so I have to do my own prizes. I know it's one of those things that I have not figured out how to make happen. The prize part.
You may have to train Shelley.
Yeah. Yes.
So dear, all of this is perfect illustration of one of the things I love in you as a friend, and that is that you play instinctively. You just do it, and you're committed to doing it. But it's not like it's a job. It's just because it's fun. But it's easy to play when there are tambourines and bubbles, and it's sunshiny and everybody's playing. It's easy. But you do it in situations where a lot of people would find it challenging too. Like, for example, big example, in your mom's last years with Alzheimer's. And you guys played a lot in a situation that a lot of people would have just been burdened by the sadness of it.
Yes, absolutely. I didn't have the greatest relationship with my mom, so I didn't start at a point where, I love my mom so much, I want to spend all this time with her. I do, of course, and did love my mom. But I was more daddy's little girl, and I'm an only child, and my mom and I had things in common, but it wasn't, if I were to think about what I was going to do for 5 years, it wouldn't be spend a lot of time with my mom. And all of a sudden, with Alzheimer's, I'm in the role of the parent, and my mom's in the role of a child. And not at first, of course. At first it was just kind of how when somebody is discovering that somebody has Alzheimer's, little pieces. But I think, it's not only about the play, but it's also about that loving what is, and going with the flow, which is also one of the Arts Alive themes, go with the flow and keep the flow going. And it's like, I'm not going to change this. She has Alzheimer's. I'm just going to sit with it and go with it. And I read books, and one of the books that I read was so fabulous. It's called Making an Exit. And it came from the point of view of a theater person, which is why I thought, oh, well, this will be perfect for me. And it was one of the books that really helped me, because she talked about, if we as theater goers can go to a Dadaism play, or a play where, like Waiting for Godot, where nothing's making sense, and you're going, yay, that was so great. then why can't you talk to somebody that has Alzheimer's that, is pointing at the street and says, isn't that cat interesting looking today? And you know that they're looking at the street, but you're thinking, oh, they're calling the street a cat. Oh, no, that's not a cat, Mom. That's a street. You say, I know, isn't it a fluffy cat? I wonder what its name is. And in that book, she talked about how her mom would be talking gibberish, and she would just go back with the gibberish. And so that's kind of where, in a lot of the books, talking about going to where they are, what I see happen a lot, because I do work with people that have Alzheimer's and the people that are working with them, either family members or caregivers, is they're always trying to, reel them back into being where they are. It's not where they are. So go where they are. Mm-hmm. And I did that with my mom, in that, to me, it was, and I don't mean for this to sound heartless at all, but it was fun sometimes when she was in her world and I would try to figure out how to go there. Mm-hmm. And I mean, I almost didn't have to try to figure it out, because it was just like going there, being there. And I feel that I'm a person a lot of times that is in the moment. So if I could give advice to anybody out there with a loved one with Alzheimer's, it is just be in the moment, because that's where they are. Don't take them, into the past, unless the past is where they are right then. Don't take them into the future. Just be, and the moment really is that second. I mean, it's not even 10 seconds ago or 10 seconds into the future. It's right then. And love what is, whatever, however they are. It is not, they are the same person that they always have been. They just are a little different. And we played a lot. My mom and I discovered something here in Houston called Gathering Place and the Gatherings, and many churches and synagogues have it. It's done through names escaping me right now. Sorry, it'll come back. But interfaith care partners, and they go to churches and synagogues and train the people there to work with people with Alzheimer's, and then that particular church or synagogue will have once a month a gathering for people with Alzheimer's and dementia, and their care they call them care partners, if they want to be there. But what's wonderful is they have games to play. They have reading of the newspaper. They have entertainment. They have exercise, bingo. They'll always have a theme. There's lunch. It's amazing. And when I started going to those with my mom, of course, I saw a need they need to play even more. And so I introduced my Arts Alive program, and that's how I got involved a lot with that age group, going to the different gatherings throughout town and playing with them for 45 minutes and taking them sometimes, back to childhood, which is sometimes where they are, and just playing and having fun and exercising the mind and the body at the same time. Mm-hmm. Did that answer your question? I can't remember what
the question was, how do you play in a situation that's really challenging?
Oh, yes, about my mom. Yes. Yes, I think that answers the question. And, of course, another prop. Here she is.
Hi, Mom. Hi, Evie.
Hi, Mom. That's Debbie. And this was her beautiful picture that I had blown up for her. We didn't call it a funeral, of course. It was a celebration. And I had 3 celebrations for my mom, because I had her down here from Upper Michigan to help take care of her. Mm-hmm. And I did, and we were together for about 6 years through her disease. And because she was down here, and I had a lot of friends that wanted to be supportive, plus all of the friends she made down here, I had her celebration down here. We called it the Tour de Evian, which was so funny. It was happening right when the Tour de France was happening. This was in 2009. So celebration here, celebration in her hometown, where I grew up. Well, I guess that's my hometown, Escanaba, Michigan, and then outside of Chicago. In Aurora, Illinois. She was raised in Chicago, so that's where all of our relatives were. So It was a wonderful tour to Evie, and here's my little mini mom. She comes with me places, and we have a bigger urn too. But what's great is sometimes, especially during her on her birthday and 4th of July, of course, that's the day that she passed. So she wanted to go out with a bang. She loves sparkly things, and so that's perfect. So we light sparklers and watch the fireworks, and have her with us. I know she's here in spirit, but we have her little ashes as well. So we continue playing even though she's moved on. I always do a very special thing on her birthday based on something that she would want to do. Mm-hmm. So she loved going out to eat, so we did that. She always was a little afraid of the water, and so wanted to do things on the water, but didn't. So I went on a little cruise around Galveston Bay for her birthday once, and we did... this year we're having a tea tasting at Path of Tea for her because she loved tea. So we continue to play.
And she isn't gone.
No, she's here. She's all around.
Tina, I feel like all through the interview you've been playing, and you've been talking about how do you do it more, and you've been giving examples of things you love to do. For someone who feels a little stuck and wants to play more in their life, mm-hmm. what's your best advice for them?
Okay. I would say to sit with yourself just kind of for a minute, not very long, and really think about something that makes you happy, mm-hmm. and go in that direction, whatever it is. I would say think out of the box. And that in and of itself is playing a bit. But when you're sitting with yourself, maybe it's not the first thing you think of. Maybe it's the fifth thing, because the fifth thing is like, oh, I don't know if I'd feel comfortable with that. Maybe start with something that doesn't make you feel comfortable at first, because we are all set in our ways, in our comfort zone, and we might not find that playful moment unless we go out there and mm-hmm. think out of the box. Find somebody who likes to play like me. Give me a call and I'll help you. I would say really just leaving behind that voice that says you're too old to do that, or you're going to look silly. Nobody cares, really. I mean, I always laugh when people are like, oh, I don't want to wear a bathing suit. I don't look good enough, or, however people should think. That's what everybody's thinking. And so nobody's looking at anybody else. Nobody cares. It's so funny. You just really, the bottom line is nobody cares. It's just it's that voice in your head. Mm-hmm. It's just that story you're making up. Another thing about Byron Katie, bringing her up again. We make up so many stories, and we get caught in that, and that's going to keep everybody from playing if you're just making that story up. So stop telling yourself those stories and just say, hey, let's go throw a baseball, or let's go paint a picture, or let's go horseback riding, or let's just sit by a creek, or go come play with Tina.
Tina, thank you. This has been, without a doubt, the interview with the most props, the most games, and absolutely, hands down, the most bubbles I have ever done for the Big Life Project. And
I have something to say on our way out.
Nice.
Play.
Play. I don't know if everybody else can read it, but I can read it. It says play. No, oh, there we go. Play.
Bye, Shelley. Thank you so much. I had a blast.
I did too. So, time to go play.